Me 34M with my wife 32F of 5 years. I know she's cheating on me, I can't bring myself to confront her. I 34 meters met my wife 32F 7 years ago at a party. She was the out of your league girl no one hit on, and I was the awkward boy in the corner trying to not stare. Eventually she was introduced to me by the host, we bonded over a shared love of darts, went on a few dozen platonic outings together, and after one beer and darts-filled night a year later we wound up in her bed and in a relationship. A year later she proposed to me. She's the power person in our relationship. I am working as a chocolatier, she's a vice president in a larger corporation. She works long days and longer nights, I cook and keep the house clean, and work 5 days a week in a small artisanal shop downtown. We're pretty high-end, so I am making good money, but she's making way more than twice of my salary. So she buys the toys for the house, including a new set-top box for the TV. The set-top box has a screensaver mode where it rotates pictures in your Apple photo library. Last week, she was still at work, I came home from my day in the TV, which I'd used to watch a YouTube video that morning and definitely had turned off, was on screensaver. On it were pictures that must come from her phone, showing her, in our living room, one of our female friends, and a guy I've never met in very implicit poses. The pictures moved around the room, so I think there must have been a fourth person, taking pictures with her phone, but I didn't see that person. What was weird, was that she was wearing a bandage on her hand, something she'd done that morning after complaining about RSI. I left the TV on and was very shocked, but decided to leave the screensaver and see what she had to say when she came home later that evening. When she came home, the pictures seemed to have disappeared, they haven't shown up anymore since then on the TV. I asked her if she'd been home during the day, because the TV was on, and she said she'd come home during lunch to pick up a USB stick she'd forgotten in her computer at home. I tried to ask her about the pictures, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Now, I have to add something. I am not a very experienced person in S-time matters. I am an introvert and barely had relationships before her. Our S-time life is though, even for my experiences, very vanilla. I never have had OL S-time in my life before and only twice since we met. Suggesting it to her usually meant that she'd lecture me about not doing those things and S-time for the night was a no-go. In those pictures she did all the things she never wanted to do with me. Since that day I have tried to confront her a number of times. She stays out longer, lately not just since last week, for the past 4 months maybe, and she's often too tired for anything romantic, even just cuddling, and when she comes home she often disappears in her office and comes to bed long after I have fallen asleep. But even during the time we had together, like this weekend, I can't bring myself to confront her. I am worried about what I might hear and what this would mean for our relationship. I still love her very much and can't imagine a life without her. How can I summon the courage to do this? Is there a way out of this? Update, me 34M with my wife 32F of 5 years. I know she's cheating on me, I can't bring myself to confront her. So, lots to tell. First off, however, a few things. Before I wrote this, I didn't know what a red pill was. Now I do. I kind of wish I didn't, but a few dozen messages kind of made that happen. You know those debt solution letters you get when you're known to the county to owe money? That's how those things came in, fast and furious. Some others assumed that my throwaway having the word red in it meant that I was a sock puppet for them. I am not. I don't think they've got a solution that isn't worse than the problem it pretends to fix. Well, what happened? I left the house that evening for a walk, she wasn't home, and called around for lawyers. It was pretty late already and I got a lot of voicemail, but one picked up. She asked me to get Mount financial statements and a lot of other things together and see her the next morning. I then decided to confront my wife that evening. That didn't happen. She came home very late and disappeared to take a bath almost right away. I snuck into her office and took her phone out from her purse. It had a fingerprint scanner, but her PIN was the same as she uses for the garage and our safe, which she set up, so that was easy. There was nothing on the phone that I could find. Pictures in Apple Photos and Google Photos were all from things we'd done together and some for her job. No messages or so, either. Just as I wanted to put the phone back, her bag buzzed. She has another phone. That one is an Android and had a pattern, so I couldn't log in. But on the screen was a message, phone number only, no name of the three on it. Put that back. Decided to postpone confrontation until after lawyer, but took a photo of the message. Next morning I talked to the lawyer and she spent about half an hour to just go over possible outcomes and what I can expect next, then another 45 minutes talking about finances and so. We don't have kids and she's the big earner, so I stand to either be just out of the relationship or be out and owed some money. It'll be months, maybe even more than a year, until all this is dealt with. Takes 5 minutes to marry, a year to unmarry, it seems. I'd walked by my work and told boss and I was sick. I looked like it from not sleeping and some crying, so that was pretty convincing. We work in food, being sick is a bad idea at that job. Went home and unplugged the Apple TV and took it to a friend who runs a small computer store. He confirmed what you told me, the pictures on the screensaver are from her Apple photos. He's also the first I told and he immediately offered me to stay at his place with his wife and kids if I had to leave for a while. Then he called the number the text on my wife's other phone came from and told me a guy named Rob had answered it. Walked home and texted her if she'd be home for dinner. She texted back that she'd have to do some extra work and it could be late, so I told her to please make an exception and come home. I had important news. We'd been looking for a house for a while. I figured she'd think I finally found one. Well, dinner came and went, and she didn't show. She came home around 10, smelling of cigarettes. She was all happy and asked me what I wanted to talk about, so I asked her to sit down. I'm 99% to making something up about a house and avoid the confrontation, but then, I guess for the first time, I felt a little anger. So I told her, I said I know you've been cheating for a while now. I've been working with an attorney and we'll have to talk about these things at some point, so now is as bad a time for that as ever. She didn't blow up and deny it. She just deflated and started to shake. A lot of your PMs, my attorney, and my friend, all told me not to press for details, and not put that on me as well. But I really wanted to know, so I said tell me about Rob. She told me they'd met through and the friend on the couch with her and then wanted to have time with him while he had a crush on my wife, so they hatched this threesome plan. That was 14 months ago. Apparently they've since included Rob's wife, that's the mysterious fourth person who took the pictures, who is polyamorous with that Rob guy. The picture thing was solved, too. She'd handed the wife her phone to take a few pictures and didn't remember the whole screen blanker thing. When she was at work, she'd uploaded them and deleted them from the phone. By then, by chance, I'd seen them. She had the second phone for precisely the reasons I thought, as one that isn't on our shared contract where I couldn't see the incoming and outgoing calls in my statement. She also had short affairs with other women and a few men, and in most of her weekend work things were actually her and Rob going on short trips together. Through all this, it felt like she was giving me as much detail as she could in an effort to hurt me, and it worked, but I think I kept a pretty good poker face. I told her that I would leave the house, that I had photographed and cataloged everything and was hoping for an amicable separation. She simply declined, told me she'd leave and take a hotel for the time being, and put her keys on the table. She packed a few things and left. That was it. As this one guy Ujluster says, it was like the dentist, it hurt less than I thought it would but still hurt damn much. Today I have about 15 missed calls from her and 150 plus messages, all asking me for forgiveness and if we could make it work again. I agreed to meet her next week, but only to divide our possessions. As far as I am concerned, this is over. Except for my one friend no one knows, yet, and I want to wait with making it public knowledge while I sort my stuff here and decide how I go from here. Might actually be hitting the gym, no intentions for a rebound relationship, and the rest we'll see. Story 2, I 24 meters had a threesome with my girlfriend 24F and now she wants to have time with another guy, because I had time with another girl. My girlfriend was the one who suggested to me a threesome. At first I wasn't sure if she was serious, but when I found out she was, I was pretty ecstatic. I never thought there could be an ulterior motive. I'd never known her to be bi or anything like that, and she still identifies as a straight girl. But she seemed keen to experiment and open up, as she put it. So I was only happy to go along. The other girl was an acquaintance we only loosely know, and we see her every now and again. My girlfriend knows her better than I do, and she's the one who set most of it up. When we had the threesome, it seemed fun for all of us, and I feel I should point out that it wasn't just me who was having time with this other girl, but my girlfriend who also having time with her and doing stuff with her on the day. Now here's where things get messy. About a week later, my girlfriend comes up with a new proposition. She asks me that since I got to have time with another girl, if she can have time with another guy. She said it's only fair, since I got to have time with a girl outside the relationship, she gets to have time with a guy. Edit, details in case of confusion. She suggested either a MMF threesome, or just her plus another guy, whichever I'd be most amenable to. I instantly said absolutely no, it was out of the question. I pointed out to her that the threesome was for both of us, not just me. And it wasn't just I who had time with someone outside of our relationship, but she did as well, with the same person, so it's fair and even. I said it shouldn't matter if this other person was same time or opposite time. What's more, I said that when she proposed the threesome, at no point did she suggest, mention, or imply, this would mean she'd be able to try somebody else. I feel like the whole threesome was a setup so she could afterwards push the issue of having time with another guy. And I'm pretty sure she has a guy lined up in mind, it sure sounded like it. So I'm pretty obstinate about no, she can't have time with someone else. She thinks I'm being unfair, and maintains the position that she should be allowed to, since I had time with that girl in the threesome even though she also had time with her. I feel like I was manipulated, used, and set up. Part of me fears she's going to go and cheat with the other guy anyway, even though I said no. For this reason I'm strongly considering ending our relationship now and going our separate ways. Although personally I'd prefer we settle this in a way without her cheating and without ending our relationship. I'm not interested in an open relationship or a F-buddy situation or anything like that. The threesome was fun, but I don't want to do that too regularly. Story 2 update, I 24 meters had a threesome with my girlfriend 24F and now she wants to have time with another guy, because I had time with another girl. I got a few requests for an update, so I thought I'd boast one. Pretty much what everyone suggested would happen, we broke up. It wasn't nice though. Honestly, I've been kind of regretting the threesome because more and more I feel like I was strongly manipulated, lead into believing it would be just no strings fun whereas it was actually a vehicle for her to have time with another guy. I sat her down and said to her clearly, I've been thinking about her proposition, and she can have time with the guy if she tells me who it is, and she has to be honest about if she had this person in mind from the start when she suggested it. She became ecstatic to hear about this, and told me the person was Adam. I know Adam, I've met him a few times, he works at the same place she does. I thought Adam is married, I said. He is, but he and his wife are swingers, she tells me. I then tell her like I said, you are free to have time with Adam as much as you want, but our relationship is over. She then freaked out at what I said as she slowly realized I was serious and was ending the relationship out of the blue. She wasn't expecting it at all. At first she thought I was kidding, then she became really angry at me and started shouting and going crazy. She said all sorts of nasty things and told me I lied to her, deceived her, etc. because I had time with another woman but won't let her have time with another man. I told her she's free to have time with him now, because our relationship is over, and I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman who very clearly lusts after another man. I then said to her something along these lines, I feel like you manipulated me when you suggested the threesome. You said you just wanted to experiment but you were really trying to use it as leverage so you could have time with another man. If I had known that was your ulterior motive, I never would have agreed to it. What you did was dishonest and manipulative. Of course, she wasn't too happy to hear this. There was much tears and anguish from her part, but she accepted it eventually. I started getting texts the next day from her. She was apologizing profusely, saying she was sorry, she didn't want to sleep with another man, she regrets suggesting the threesome, and she just wants to continue her relationship with me. I said to her something about us being time-ul incompatible, but honestly I felt like I was just giving her a bullshit excuse. The real reason was that I didn't want a woman that so desperately wanted to have time with another guy, that she would even manipulate me towards that goal. I keep getting more texts from her and missed calls, angry ones, apologetic ones, crying ones, and furious ones. Since she didn't seem to get the message that we're through, I'm just ignoring her now. Honestly, I'm really happy with my decision, no regrets. I feel like I've let go of some negative baggage, and I'm already excited about moving on with my life and pursuing future relationships.